A 67-year-old man woke up feeling perfectly fine on a Tuesday morning, but 20 minutes later, his wife was frantically dialing 911. I know this because I was the one standing over him in the trauma bay. He did everything he was supposed to do. He swallowed his pills. He tried to follow the rules, but the system completely failed him. He became a victim of the morning surge, a violent spike in blood pressure that happens the exact moment your feet hit the floor. It is a terrifying reality that leaves so many people quietly fearing a silent heart attack or a stroke right after waking up. You might wake up feeling rested, completely unaware that your blood vessels are clamping down, forcing your heart into overdrive. Your doctor probably handed you a prescription during a rushed 10-minute consultation and sent you out the door. They gave you a chemical to swallow, but never explained the biology of your own mornings. They made you feel like just another number in a machine built for profit. That morning danger zone is not your fault. It is a natural biological shift that becomes harder to regulate as we age, and the traditional medical system simply refuses to dedicate the time to help you manage it safely. People are desperately searching for simple, natural solutions to ease their reliance on heavy medications. There is a way to command your body to relax those vessels before the danger ever peaks. There are everyday liquids sitting in your kitchen right now that act as powerful, natural vasodilators. These are proven compounds that force your blood vessels to gently open up and drop that dangerous pressure in minutes. In fact, you're probably pouring the most effective one down the drain every single morning. I am Dr. Marcus Caldwell. I am an active cardiothoracic surgeon, and for the last 2 decades, I have stood on the absolute front lines of the operating room. I have cracked open chests, repaired shattered vessels, and physically held beating human hearts in the palms of my hands. I have seen exactly what unmanaged high blood pressure does to the human body from the inside out. But my biggest frustration does not come from the surgical table. It comes from the clinic. I am completely exhausted by watching brilliant, resilient people over the age of 60 being rushed through a revolving door of 7-minute appointments. The medical system dictates that we scribble down a prescription and rush to the next room, leaving you alone to deal with the exhausting side effects and the lingering fear. I started speaking out because you deserve the absolute truth about your own biology. The reality is what the industry has told you about morning blood pressure spikes is missing a massive, deliberate piece of the puzzle. The modern medical establishment operates on a factory floor mentality. When you sit on that crinkly paper in the examination room, the clock is already ticking. You get exactly 7 minutes to explain your fears, your side effects, and your concerns before the doctor checks their watch. And when they wrap that cuff around your arm and see the numbers flash high, they immediately point the finger at you. The outdated guidelines demand that they blame your lifestyle. They tell you it is the salt shaker. They tell you it is your weight. They tell you it is simply because you're getting older and your body is deteriorating. They hand you another prescription, maybe doubling your dose, and send you out the door feeling defeated, anxious, and completely unheard. But what they utterly fail to explain is the biological reality of the morning surge. The medical guidelines are stuck in the past, treating your blood pressure as a flat, unchanging number throughout the day. They ignore the fact that the moment your eyes open, your body dumps a massive wave of cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream to wake you up. For someone over the age of 60, this natural chemical wake-up call forces your blood vessels to clamp down violently. That medication you swallowed 12 hours ago is exhausted. It is completely overwhelmed by the morning tide of hormones. Yet, the system blames you for the spike. Listen to me very closely right now. Look at me. It is not your fault. I need you to internalize that immediately. If you've been waking up, nervously sliding your arm into your home blood pressure monitor and feeling a knot of sheer panic in your stomach when you see those numbers in the red zone, you need to let go of that guilt today. You have done everything right. You have eaten the bland, tasteless meals. You have swallowed the pills that leave you dealing with extreme brain fog, chronic fatigue, and swollen ankles. You have desperately tried to follow rules that were designed for a broken, profit-driven system rather than your unique biology. You are not failing. You are simply trying to fight a torrential biological river with a spoon. The system set you up for this daily morning anxiety by withholding the truth about how your vessels actually operate. They treat you as a symptom to be managed, a number on a chart, rather than a human being who wants to maintain their independence and live without the constant, terrifying shadow of a stroke hovering over their breakfast table. The anxiety you feel is real, and the danger of that morning spike is real, but the shame they have placed on your shoulders is completely manufactured. We are wiping that slate clean right this second. You do not have to live in fear of your mornings anymore. We're going to bypass their 7-minute assembly line entirely. Because once you understand the actual mechanics of what happens inside your chest the moment you wake up, everything changes. You're going to see exactly why the medical system is terrified of you discovering how to command your own biology. And once we expose that mechanism, you will understand exactly why those 5 ordinary drinks sitting in your kitchen hold the key to overriding that morning spike completely. When you cross the threshold of 60, a silent, profound shift happens inside the microscopic walls of your vascular system. Your endothelium, the ultra-thin inner lining of your blood vessels, begins to alter its function completely. In your 20s and 30s, this lining was a bustling, highly efficient factory, constantly synthesizing and pumping out a miracle molecule called nitric oxide. This gas is the ultimate peacemaker and regulator for your entire circulatory system. It signals the muscular walls of your arteries to relax, to expand, and to let the rushing force of your blood glide through with zero resistance. But as the decades pass, that vital biological factory slows down to a painful crawl. By the time you blow out the candles on your 65th birthday, your natural nitric oxide production has plummeted by more than half. You are biologically starved of the one molecule that keeps your internal pressure stable. Now, I want you to combine that cellular starvation with the exact biological process of waking up. The second sunlight hits your retinas, or the moment your alarm clock shatters the silence of the room, your brain perceives the act of waking as a major physiological stress event. It immediately floods your bloodstream with a heavy dose of cortisol and catecholamines, which are powerful adrenaline hormones. These are chemical commands that scream at your body to brace for impact, to get ready for the survival of a new day. In a younger body, the abundant nitric oxide instantly buffers this chemical shock. But in your senior body, the gas tank is practically empty. Those intense stress chemicals hit blood vessels that are already compromised and chemically naked. As a direct result, the muscular walls of your arteries violently clamp down. They spasm. They narrow aggressively. Your heart, which has been beating peacefully and slowly all night long, suddenly finds itself trying to push a thick, heavy volume of blood through a pathway that is shrinking by the second. Your heart muscle has to pump harder, squeezing with a ferocious, desperate intensity just to get enough oxygenated blood up to your brain so you can safely sit up and swing your legs over the edge of the bed. That sheer, violent mechanical force slamming against the narrowed, tightened walls of your arteries is exactly what registers as a terrifying 160, 170, or even 180 on your home blood pressure monitor. It is not because you ate a slightly salty piece of chicken for dinner last night. It is a violent biochemical collision happening deep inside your chest, brought on by the natural act of waking up. Let us visualize exactly what this looks like. Your vascular system is living, breathing, dynamic tissue. I want you to picture a brand new, premium, heavy-duty leatherwork glove. When you first pull it out of the box, the raw leather is stiff, unforgiving, and deeply rigid. If you try to close your hand into a tight fist, the thick material fights back, fiercely resisting your movement. That stiff, unyielding leather is exactly what your blood vessels look and act like first thing in the morning when you're depleted of nitric oxide. Every single time your heart beats, it is violently fighting against that rigid, unbending leather. Now, imagine taking a high-quality, rich conditioning oil and massaging it deeply into the fibers of that stiff leather glove. Within just a few minutes of friction and absorption, the material undergoes a total transformation. It becomes supple, soft, and deeply elastic. You can close your fist effortlessly. The leather moves perfectly with you, stretching and accommodating the physical force without a single ounce of resistance. That conditioning oil is exactly what nitric oxide does to your endothelial lining. It restores the elastic, supple nature of your vessels so they can instantly expand and absorb the force when the morning cortisol surge hits. This is not just a surgical observation from the operating room. A truly pivotal clinical study published in the American Journal of Hypertension tracked the morning cardiovascular events of thousands of senior patients over several years. The researchers isolated a terrifying, undeniable pattern. The massive, tragic spike in morning strokes and sudden cardiac events was not tied to the patient's overall cholesterol levels, and it was not even tied to their average daytime blood pressure readings. It was directly, indisputably linked to endothelial stiffness occurring within the very first 2 hours of waking up. The patients whose blood vessels could not physically expand during that morning adrenaline dump were the ones ending up in the back of a speeding ambulance. The study conclusively proved that forcing the vascular walls to relax and expand during that highly critical morning window is the single most important biological action you can take to protect your brain and your heart from a catastrophic event. And this is exactly where the traditional medical system completely abandons you. They hand you a chemical pill designed to artificially force your heart to slow down or a harsh diuretic to drain vital water from your blood volume. But they do absolutely nothing to condition the leather. They leave your arteries stiff, rigid, and completely vulnerable to the morning surge. You are left blindly managing a symptom while the root cause, the physical tightness of your vessels, remains a dangerous, ticking clock inside your chest. But you actually have the power to change the physical state of your arteries before you even finish making your breakfast. You do not need another expensive prescription to condition the leather of your vascular system. You simply need to trigger your body's own natural nitric oxide production and force those vessels to soften. And the most shocking part of human biology is how rapidly your body responds to the right natural raw materials. There are 5 specific, widely available drinks that contain the exact biochemical triggers needed to instantly flood your endothelium with nitric oxide. When you consume them in the morning, they act exactly like that conditioning oil, rapidly softening the arterial walls and causing your dangerous blood pressure to plummet naturally and safely. The very first drink on this list is a common liquid you probably have sitting in your refrigerator right now, but you've been drinking it at the completely wrong time of day, wasting its incredible life-saving potential. Here is the absolute truth that the profit-driven system does not have the time to explain during those rushed 7-minute visits. You possess the biological capability to naturally reverse the damage and support your vascular system right in your own kitchen. We're going to build a morning ritual that acts as a natural biological shield against that dangerous cortisol surge. These are 5 specific, highly potent morning drinks that force your vessels to relax, giving you the power to manage your numbers naturally and safely. Drink number 1 is raw, cold-pressed beetroot juice. You might have heard of beets, but timing is the entire secret to this biological equation. Most people drink it with lunch or dinner, completely wasting its true cardiovascular potential. Beetroot is packed with dietary nitrates. The moment this liquid hits your saliva, the natural bacteria in your mouth instantly convert those nitrates into nitrites, which your body then turns directly into nitric oxide. Drinking just 4 ounces of pure beetroot juice within 20 minutes of waking up acts as an immediate, powerful vasodilator. It floods your starved endothelial lining with the exact chemical messenger needs to soften and expand before the morning adrenaline can force a violent pressure spike. Drink number 2 is a potent, chilled hibiscus infusion. Clinical trials have repeatedly shown that hibiscus naturally acts on the exact same biological pathways as synthetic ACE inhibitor medications, but without the devastating chemical side effects that leave you battling extreme fatigue, chronic muscle pain, and heavy brain fog all day long. You brew a strong cup of hibiscus tea the night before, let it sit in the refrigerator, and drink it cold the very first thing in the morning. The dark red anthocyanins in the hibiscus actively prevent your body from producing the specific enzyme that causes your blood vessels to constrict, effectively blocking the physical tightening before it ever has a chance to begin. Drink number 3 focuses on cellular protection, and it is pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice. Here is the mechanical reality of your arteries after the age of 60. Even if your body manages to produce a small amount of natural nitric oxide, oxidative stress and free radicals roaming in your bloodstream will brutally hunt it down and destroy it within seconds. Pomegranate juice contains a highly specific class of robust antioxidants called punicalagins. When you drink just half a glass in the morning, these antioxidants act like an aggressive biochemical bodyguard for your nitric oxide. They physically shield the relaxation molecules, allowing them to survive significantly longer in your bloodstream and keeping your vessels wide open and relaxed throughout the entire dangerous morning window. Drink number 4 is going to challenge an outdated medical myth that has kept millions of people trapped in fear. It is warm water with a heavy pinch of authentic, unrefined Celtic sea salt. For decades, the medical establishment has incorrectly demonized all forms of salt, forcing seniors into bland, dangerous diets. But stripping your aging body of vital trace minerals actually triggers a severe internal stress response that dramatically elevates your blood pressure. Unrefined Celtic sea salt contains magnesium, potassium, and over 70 trace minerals that your body desperately needs to conduct electrical signals properly. By drinking this mineral-rich water upon waking, you instantly rehydrate your blood volume, thinning it out and making it dramatically easier for your heart to pump, while the magnesium naturally signals the smooth muscle tissue of your arteries to unroll and relax. Drink number 5 is the ultimate vascular defender, raw celery extract. Celery contains a very rare, deeply powerful phytochemical called 3N-butylphthalide. This compound bypasses the digestive system, travels straight to the smooth muscle lining of your blood vessels, and acts as a brilliant natural calcium channel blocker. It prevents calcium from entering the muscle cells of your arteries, completely neutralizing the aggressive, clamping signals sent by your morning cortisol dump. 4 simple stalks of celery, blended and strained into a small morning tonic, will literally disarm the structural tension in your chest. The biology here is undeniably brilliant and perfectly designed to heal. When you utilize these natural compounds, you're not forcing your body into submission with harsh synthetic chemicals. You're actively repairing the cellular starvation that causes the problem in the first place. You are fundamentally restoring the supple, elastic nature of your vascular tissue. I want you to write these 5 drinks down on a piece of paper today and take this exact list to your next medical appointment. Use this profound biological knowledge to actively advocate for yourself and demand a much higher level of respect and care. Ask your doctor how these natural vasodilators can work alongside your current regimen, and see if your genuine progress allows you to safely adjust your dependence on harsh prescriptions. You must never stop taking your medication abruptly, but you have every absolute right to use these tools to support your system so you can start having better, more authoritative conversations with your physician. You're taking the reins of your health back this very second because you deserve to live with complete dignity and absolute autonomy. I have seen the devastating consequences of the traditional approach. Far too many people undergo invasive, unnecessary procedures and suffer complications that steal their mobility, living with the deep, constant terror of being relegated to a wheelchair or trapped forever in a nursing home simply because the system failed to protect them. But you prioritize true quality of life. You understand that maintaining your independence and enjoying a vibrant, autonomous existence is vastly superior to spending decades suffering through a cycle of hospital beds and endless drug refills. You finally have the power to command your mornings again and protect your heart from the moment you wake up. But while these incredible drinks will physically open your arteries and neutralize the morning surge, there's a silent, completely hidden trigger lurking in your bedroom that could be secretly destroying your heart while you sleep. Now, before we continue, I need to be completely transparent with you. Everything we're discussing today is general medical information meant to arm you with the absolute truth about your own biology. This is not a personalized prescription or a substitute for direct care. Please, I urge you, never suddenly stop taking your current medications or change your daily regimen on your own. Instead, I want you to use this video to have a much better, deeper conversation with your physician. Talk to your doctor before you adjust anything, and ask them if your current pill is still absolutely necessary as you begin to support your vascular system naturally. Use this powerful knowledge to become the ultimate advocate for your own health. I want to hear from you right now. Tell me in the comments below, what was your systolic pressure reading this morning? Put the number down, because acknowledging where you are is the very first step in taking back control. Your experiences matter, and this community is here to support you when the traditional system turns its back. I'm also asking you, genuinely and urgently, to share this specific video with your spouse, a family member, or any friend who is over the age of 60. Send it to them right now. You could literally be handing them the exact biological tool they need to prevent a catastrophic morning event and maintain their precious independence. Do not let them face that morning anxiety alone. We have secured your mornings, but the danger does not completely vanish when the sun goes down. There's a deeply misunderstood physiological mechanism that happens the moment you close your eyes, and it is the exact reason why so many people experience a silent cardiovascular event while they are fast asleep. I recorded a full breakdown explaining exactly what you're doing in your bed that causes this immense strain on your heart, and more importantly, the simple zero-cost adjustment you must make tonight to protect yourself. Click the video appearing on your screen right now. Watch it immediately, and let us continue building the biological shield your heart desperately needs. I will see you there.